I want to first thank Stan and the Sutherland Institute. What they have put together here is truly remarkable. So much work goes on behind the scenes than you would ever imagine. And as you enjoy this conference and as you learn and work through issues on by yourself, never forget what the Sutherland Institute has brought to you today. So please, thank you. I will be brief. My staff thinks that's probably an impossibility, but I will do my best. We have to address a really big issue in the United States today. How does social policy and economic policy relate to each other? Here, oftentimes people think of them in two separate buckets. We know that that's not actually true. If you look at the math underlying economic variables and the math underlying social variables, you'll see that they share the same denominators, the same subvariants within the denominators. Those big fancy mathematical terms that economists understand. So the American Conservative Union has partnered with the Sutherland Institute to launch what we call the Family Prosperity Initiative. The centerpiece of that is an index. Just like we have a durable goods index, a consumer price index, we are creating an index that measures the health of families across the nation. We'll be launching this early next year, and we'll be ranking all 50 states every year on how well they do in helping and assisting families. It is a truly revolutionary approach, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to explain why we have these three gentlemen here today. If you imagine a triangle, with three corners, these men form the troika of that triangle. We have Governor Brownback, who has been the nation's leader from a government policy standpoint on family policy for decades. His time in the House of Representatives, his time in the Senate, and again as governor of the great state of Kansas, he has been the leader on how to form policy that impacts families. And by the way, I too am from Manhattan, Kansas. We call it the Little Apple. And just one quick little story. When I was 12 or 13 years old, I was talking with a couple of the Republican Party county leaders who pointed down the hall and said, "That guy with the big afro, he's going to be governor of Kansas one day." So as I said once before, the afro was era appropriate at that point. But Governor Brownback is really the nation's leader on these issues from a public policy standpoint. Another corner or a point of the triangle is how at a private grassroots level, social services are provided to help families. How do we actually care for those in our communities? Alexis de Tocqueville explained that the thing that makes America great is private action to help others. So we've got Reverend Johnny here with us who does just that every day. He's going to explain what he does and why that is so important to help families. The third part of this triangle is business and private charity. Dr. Black has grown a business from, I believe, 4 employees initially to thousands. He has one of the most successful companies in the state of Tennessee. He understands these issues intimately. He also has created some very interesting models that help the public understand, where they can put their money. He'll probably talk about this later, but when those Planned Parenthood videos broke, how did we know who was funding Planned Parenthood? Dr. David Black is the answer to that. But as these gentlemen talk to you today about social policy and economic policy, keep in mind this triangle. All three have to work together. The public policy, the private service intervention, and business leaders, business community and philanthropy. So thank you, Stan, for putting this conference together. This is so important. Thank you all for coming.